computer is picking up a strange signal. Here, sir, you better take a look at it.
Hello dear listener, and welcome to episode 60 of Life Through a Prism with your host Rob Tierney. Today, and in episode 61, we are going to take a look at two articles regarding the patchwork of air conditioning in the Launceston General Hospital in Launceston, Tasmania, where I live. At the end of episode 61, I'll share how come I am talking about this. The first article is entitled, Family of Launceston General Hospital Patients Shocked by Lack of Aircon in Wards. This is by Jessica Moran from the abc.net.au news site, dated Tuesday the 28th of January. Patients in some Launceston General Hospital or LGH wards have had to swelter through the heat with wet face washes and no blankets to try to stay cool due to a lack of air conditioning, a family member says. Sally Ann Gale's father has been in the hospital for the last few weeks after having a stroke. She said she was shocked to learn there was no air conditioning in the hospital's stroke and medical wards. She told ABC Mornings that with temperatures reaching 29 degrees Celsius on Monday, it was stifling for patients and more needed to be done to help them. The stroke and medical wards do not have air conditioning. It would be fair to say that the 4 patients in my dad's room are too ill to complain, aside from family members. They have no voice. They weren't able to say this is uncomfortable, unbearable. What else can we do? It's pretty shocking to see that our hospital here in Launceston is in this state. Over the past 30 years, a technology we barely notice has quietly shaped where and how Australians live. We take a closer look at the machinery that maintains our comfort. She said she asked several staff at the hospital why there was no air conditioning and was told it was an infection control measure. Ms. Giles then questioned why other hospitals around the country were able to have heating and cooling. So obviously there are measures that can be put in place to counteract that, air filters, etc. So why isn't that the case at the LGH, she said. Many commentators on the ABC Northern Tasmanian Facebook page echoed her concerns. Jeff wrote that he was astounded there was no air conditioning in the ward when his mother was being treated for terminal cancer a few years ago. Her body was running hot from chemotherapy treatment anyway, and it was uncomfortable for those visiting, let alone patients and staff, he wrote. As others have mentioned, the fans were not allowed to be used. Kyles wrote, My goddaughter is currently in there. I can't stay too long visiting her because it's too hot. Wayne said windows are not allowed to be opened, fans of any size are not allowed. The heat in the wards are terrible. Sally Ann Gill says staff told her air conditioners could not be set up in rooms because it would lead to the spread of infections. Current and former staff speak up. Jill, a former nurse at the LGH, told the ABC that during her 31 years working there, the medical wards in D Block had not had air conditioning. Jill said it didn't help that the medical wards all have north or northwest facing windows, which allow the sun in at the hottest part of the day. Other areas of the hospital have air conditioning, so why not this area, she said. Patients have suffered. Daughter of LGH patients calls for air conditioning on wards. Speaking anonymously to the ABC, a current LGH employer said some effort was made to improve the internal temperature in D Block in 2023. They came to our work areas and did some work, blowing out the air ducts, replacing old heaters, patient lights, window seals and tints, mixing valves and anything else that needed to be done, the employee said. They put this tinted stick stuff on the windows. It has done nothing at all. There's no air circulation. It's very uncomfortable for people, the employee said. Both patients and staff have told the ABC of uncomfortably hot conditions at the LGH. Wishing to remain anonymous, another current LGH employee told the ABC that during COVID the wall-mounted fans were removed and had not been reinstalled. Initially the cords were removed and cable tied so they couldn't be used, but nurses were just plugging them back in on hot days, the employee said. Then the fans were fully removed. The brackets for the fans still remain above the bends on the walls. Years of campaigning for cooling upgrade. The Tasmanian branch of the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation, ANMF, said it was unacceptable that LGH patients were without air conditioning. Branch Secretary Emily Shepherd said she had been pushing the state government for years to rectify it. It is unacceptable. Some of these patients are extremely vulnerable. They're extremely unwell, and those patients, especially those who are bedbound, whether it be from stroke or so unwell with a high fever, it is extremely uncomfortable, she said. The nursing union's Emily Shepherd says it has been an ongoing problem. This has been an issue for many years, probably an issue since the hospital was built, but it's definitely become worse in recent years with temperatures increasing. The ANMF secured funding about 4 years ago to upgrade the air conditioning. The intent at that time was for the air conditioning to be extended through the ducting, but that wasn't able to be done due to space constraints, apparently. The union said it has also asked for standalone air conditioning units for each of the bed bays, but was told that it was not possible due to infection control. Department says chiller units installed. A Tasmanian Health Department spokesman said the LGH continues to upgrade heating and cooling system on D-block medical wards. We recently completed the $4 million LGH HVAC, heating, ventilation and air conditioning chiller replacement project, which saw 10 new chiller units installed, enabling the various air cooling systems to operate more effectively, the spokesperson said. The 10 new chiller units service all areas of the LGH facility except for the theatres, intensive care unit, Department of Emergency Medicine and the Northern Integrated Care Centre. Opportunities to further improve the air conditioning and airflow in the LGH will be incorporated into future projects identified in the LGH Master Plan. The LGH is one of 3 major hospitals in the state. Premier Jeremy Rockcliffe said on Tuesday that he was always concerned about patient environments at hospitals. It's a hospital with ageing infrastructure, which is why we have a 10-year master plan of some almost $600 million, Mr. Rockcliffe said. I'm always concerned about the environments the patients have in their health settings, whether that be in a regional setting or indeed a major hospital such as the LGH. Opposition leader Dean Winter said when families were caring for a loved one, the last thing they needed was to worry about their comfort. We need to have hospitals of a high standard, and having these rooms not air conditioning is a huge issue, he said. The ANMF said a number of wards at the North West Regional Hospital on Tasmania's northwest coast also had no air conditioning, while the majority of wards at the Royal Hobart Hospital did have ducted heating and cooling. Before I finish today's episode, I would just like to ask, if you have enjoyed this podcast and enjoy the free content I create, could you please give it a like and consider subscribing? I enjoy creating this content for you, and it helps me be motivated to continue to make great content in the future. The podcast is also now on YouTube as well. What do you think in regard to proper air conditioning in any hospital? Would be interested to hear your thoughts. Let's have a conversation. Till next time, take care and bye for now.